Hi, I'm Danny with MMASSmedia. I'm here with Kevin Keeney of the FCFF. We're here on their 10th year anniversary, 61st show. I'd like to say congratulations first off, and tell us what it's been like this past 10 years.
You know, it's been fun and exciting. We've had our ups and our downs, but we're still here. That's the main thing, and we're excited for tonight's show.
It's going to be a huge show. There's over 20 fights scheduled on the card, and there's 6 title fights. I think this is the most stacked card I've ever had the opportunity to watch. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the upcoming fights tonight?
Sure. You know, I think as far as the card goes, I mean, we just wanted to do something really special for our fans. You know, it's a kind of a special show for us. We wanted to put the best card possible. And we got a great card. We got a heavyweight championship. One guy's 6'5", the other guy's 6'9", and they're both undefeated. That just doesn't happen very often. And then, you know, our main event is a women's title bout. And 10 years ago, who would have ever thought that? But I mean, these girls are electric. Liz Lightning McCarthy's got some of the fastest hands, amateur or pro, you're ever going to see. And Liz Tracy's very confident that her grappling's going to beat her. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's going to be a huge fight. That's the fight I'm actually really looking forward to watching myself. Now, so you've been doing this for 10 years. Can you tell us a little bit about the competition level 10 years ago versus MMA has just grown a lot in the last 10 years? You guys have played a big role in the growth of MMA, especially here in Oregon. What was the competition like back then when you were getting started in comparison to maybe 5 years ago and then today? Can you speak to that?
Sure. Yeah, I think our top level guys, I think the guys that were winning the belts are just as good, or maybe even maybe better than the guys that are winning the belts now. And I say that because, you know, it was the Healy brothers who are now in the UFC and Strikeforce. It was Ed Herman, Chris Liebman. Those are the early guys that were winning our belts. So obviously they are pretty good guys. So I don't want to knock them down at all. But I think from top to bottom on a fight card, 10 years later, definitely more skilled guys now than back then. Now, I don't know if that means that more entertaining, because I know a lot of people used to come to the FCFF because they could watch a good old slobber knocker, guys that didn't know how to fight, yet were just throwing haymakers for 2 minutes till they got tired, and then one would knock the other down. So I would say skill-wise, yeah, we're probably a little bit better now, but and the entertainment's up very high as well.
Well, we've certainly been blessed to have especially here in the Portland area, we have so many great gyms, so many talented instructors out there that they're just turning out a high quality and a larger number of skilled fighters. Let me put you on the spot for a second. The FCFF has put out a large number of UFC stars. Who would you pick to be the next FCFF fighter to become the next something in the UFC?
Wow, that is definitely put me on the spot. One guy that's really impressed me, who I think has the ability, is Ben Egley. I don't know if Ben will do it, and the only reason I say that is because I know he's working, he's got a family. I don't know if it's a priority in his life. If he wanted to make it a priority and he wanted to, you know, get with the gym and train there 7 days a week and do what he had to do, I think he could make it. He's just got the talent. He's got the composure. He's very composed. He was getting smashed by Billy Denny, and he just kept his composure, kept going for submissions and won the fight. So not a fair question to me, but off the top of my head, I would say Ben Egley it rings a bell because he's young and he's very skilled and has the talent. Again, I don't know if he's got his life's in a position to get there, but he has the talent.
Well, Kevin, that was a difficult question, but I'm going to agree with you. I think Ben Egley is a terrific fighter. He actually is from Corvallis, where we're from. Yeah. He's one of the few Corvallis fighters to really make a name for himself in the larger Oregon community. He's an excellent fighter. Is there anything else going into tonight's fight that you would like to cover? We've got the girl fight, we've got the heavyweight fight, we've got 4 other terrific title bouts going on, and then we have a huge undercard that is full of great fighters.
Yeah, you know, if we want to go back to title fights, the bantamweight championship is very interesting to me, and the reason why it's interesting is Justin Mark, who's been our featherweight champion for a couple of years now, it seems like, I can't remember the last time I seen him lose. I think he lost like 2 in a row when he came into our organization, and he's now 7-2. He's won 7 straight. So, and now he's dropping down to bantamweight. He's dropping 10 more pounds. And he's fighting a very hungry Dylan Atkinson. Dylan got beat this past summer at the casino for the title against Chris San Jose, and Chris is Dylan's on a mission. I mean, he wants that title. So that's a very interesting bout to me, because here's a guy that hasn't lost in a long time, and maybe I should have mentioned him as a future UFC guy if he wanted to be. But yet Dylan Atkinson, I mean, he's been on a mission to get our belt. That's very interesting. Something that's very interesting to me as a huge wrestling fan is we got 2 guys on the night from Roseburg, and they're former Roseburg high school wrestlers, and Roseburg's been the top team in the state now. But we're probably looking at about 10 years. I mean, they've just been dominating. So it's exciting to me to see some of those top wrestlers at the high school level in Oregon coming in to fight and fight for the FCFF, because they're future stars as well, I think.
Well, that's awesome. You guys heard it here. It's Mass Media, Danny Perry with Kevin Keeney of the FCFF. We'd like to thank you, and can we get a post interview with you afterwards and talk a little bit about the action that's going on tonight?
Absolutely, we'd love to.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Hi, Danny here with Mass Media, here with Kevin Keeney after a very successful Rumble in the Roseland 61. Kevin, tell us about your thoughts tonight. There were some really terrific thoughts. I thought the main event between the girls is one of the best fights I've ever seen.
Absolutely. I mean, it's got to be in the top 10 ever. There wasn't a whole lot of striking because Liz Tracy wouldn't allow it. She always had her hands on Liz McCarthy, but I mean, Liz McCarthy held her own in the jiu-jitsu game too. I mean, it was a fantastic fight, back and forth. And the thing that was really amazing about that fight was how Liz Tracy defended the armbar in the first round, and how Liz McCarthy defended the armbar of Liz Tracy's in the third round. I mean, it was just amazing. Any normal human being would have tapped, and neither one of them did. Rumor has it Liz Tracy broke her radius, and that would have happened in the first round. So she fought 2.5 rounds with a broken radius. I mean, you just can't find tough people anywhere else other than the FCFF. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What an amazing fight. I didn't know that about the radius. That's unbelievable. Let's talk about the heavyweights. Nick Byron and Darren O'Donnell put on a heck of a show. They don't call him Goliath for nothing. He's a big guy. Nick Byron fought with a lot of heart.
Crazy fight. And as me personally, I'm putting the matches together, and there was a couple times where Darren Goliath O'Donnell was supposed to fight for us, and for one reason or another, he didn't. And so I was kind of down on him, to be honest with you. Well, I tried to get you on the card, and he had to back out for various reasons. And I was a little down, and he was promising me, Kevin, get me on the card. I promise I'll put on a good show. And thank goodness I listened, because he put on a heck of a show. And I mean, Nick Byron won, hands down. I mean, as far as the judges say. But if the judges would have scored it the other way, I don't think anybody could have argued. I mean, it was just a hell of a fight. It was just and I'd do it again if they let me. I mean, that was awesome.
Man, that really was. And another interesting fight was Atkinson versus Justin Mark. Justin Mark has had a long streak of wins, and Atkinson came out and pulled up the upset, or I don't know if it was an upset or not, but he pulled out the win. 2 tremendous fighters. I
think you have to call it an upset. It didn't look like it. It looked like Dylan was the best fighter, and he was tonight for sure. But I think you got to call it an upset. I don't remember the last time Justin Mark's lost. It's got to be 3 or 4 years. He's the reigning, defending featherweight champion. Nobody's ever really even touched him. And he really hasn't had any, he just hasn't been pushed. And he's awesome at jiu-jitsu. I mean, he is fantastic at jiu-jitsu. And he gets submitted. That doesn't happen. I mean, who would have thought? I mean, that's the FCFF for you. The unthinkable happens. It was fantastic.
There was one more thing real quick, and we'll wrap this up. But there was one fight, and I can't remember the fight actually. All I remember was it was a submission at 2 minutes and 59 seconds into round 1. It was one of those, and then just had to tap, and they pulled out the submission.
Let me remember. I got it right here. David Converse, the man who didn't make weight. But hey, he's a great fighter. He's a great fighter, and he's a threat. He's a threat to the amateur circuit around here, and he's a threat to the pros. David's had some things going on in his life, and I think those things has really affected him as a fighter. As far as, you don't see it when he's in the cage, but as far as not making weight, and he's had to back out once or twice, unfortunately. But I think that kind of thing is turning around for him. He's had some good things going on in his life just in the past few days, and I think everything's going to be on the up and up for David. David, and it sounds weird, it sounds like David lost. David won tonight, but David also was supposed to make 125, and they were supposed to fight for the 125 title, and it ended up being a 138 bout because he was so far off on weight. So that's the way it goes. But good job, David Converse, and good job, Adam King. Adam King, he could have said, "Screw you, I'm not going to fight," and he didn't. He goes, "I'm a fighter, and I'm going to fight. I'll fight anybody." And what a stud for that.
We had a night full of awesome nights. I'd like to thank you and congratulate you on your 10th anniversary. It was an awesome show. We were very honored to be here covering it. And we, thank you for everything very much. Appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate it. We appreciate all the media. We really appreciate you guys because you guys give us a lot of attention, basically. So we thank you very much. So and thank you fans for coming out tonight. These 10 years could not be possible without you. What a great crowd, sold out. Then that's the way to do it 10 years for an anniversary, I think.
Well, good night here from the Roseland. And Kevin, thanks very much. We appreciate it.
Okay, take care, Danny.
All right, you too.